Welcome to the Box Score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway. Jeff Barnes along with Terry Collins. And Jeff, we're getting the heat of the district race, and I know a lot of people have played one round, looking to play that second round and position themselves for the district tournaments.
Oh, exactly. So that means that Friday nights from here to the regular season, which is what, the next 3 weeks, a lot of jostling, a lot of moving, and we'll see what shakes out in the second half.
Definitely will. Let's go ahead and look at the Sonica Carthage District 7A girls scoreboard. Livingston gets the big win over Pickett. That game in Livingston Livingston, the second-ranked team in Class 3A. Of course, Pickett County in Single A. They're in Gordonsville's district in Red Boiling. They lose 53-41 after losing earlier in the game at Byrdstown. Clay County gets a big win in Salina over Red Boiling, 47-36, and then Clark Range at home beats Gordonsville 65-28. Other scores from the Sonica Carthage scoreboard from Tuesday night: Clay County beats Pickett by 18. A little wider margin, Jeff, than I thought that would be, and then Red Boiling Springs gets the win at home over Red Boiling.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised, whenever I saw that final score, and it was one of those where I kind of scratched my head because I thought this game right here was probably going to be like 1 or 2 possessions. For it to be 18 points, hats off to Clay County for a great game.
Of course, Clay County, Matt Walker playing well. They're ranked in the top 10 of the state. Let's go ahead and look at the standings, and you'll see that Clay County girls up to number 3 in the state have a 2-game lead inside the district. In fact, a 2.5 game lead. They're sitting there at 6-0 currently. Clark Range sitting at 3-2, Red Boiling 3-3, and Pickett 2-3. So those 2 through 4 spots are really up for grabs, and it's big to not be in that 4-5 game, as Clark Range could tell you from last year.
Yeah, and Clay County has a chance to wrap up the number 1 seed for the district tournament. I think this Friday night they have a chance to do so. But yeah, there's still a lot of jostling there between the 2 and the 3 and the 4. Could Red Boiling Springs, come up? But I think it's going to be between Clark Range and Pickett County. Whenever those 2 teams battle, it'll be a good one.
And let's go ahead and look at some more Sonica Carthage scores from last Thursday night. Livingston at home, they kind of rebounded from their first defeat to Stone with a 71-63 win over Pickett. Then on Friday night, you had Clay County beating a pesky Red Boiling team. It seems like Red Boiling can play people close. They just can't close the deal and get the win. Gordonsville gets the win over Clark Range at home. 79-52, putting up a lot of points. I'm sorry, that game wasn't at home. That game was at Clark Range. Go ahead and look at some more scores we have. Clay County beats Pickett by 21. I think that game was in Salina, but that was a little bit surprising, that big a margin.
Just like the girls' game, Terry, another wide margin. I thought that that both games would be games of the night, to where they would be actually. Just like the girls' game, 1 or 2 possessions, but Clay County, a dominant win by them.
Red Boiling Springs, who were leading by 1 over Gordonsville at half, I think it was 26-25, something like that. Gordonsville has a strong defensive effort in the second half. Red Boiling had 2 or 3 players to foul out. They don't have a lot of depth, and Gordonsville gets the big road win, 58-42. Let's go ahead and look at the district standings. Clay County, the number 2 ranked team in the state, sitting there at 6-0. Gordonsville at 5-1. Clay County looking, of course, they've still got Gordonsville at Salina remaining. I know Clay, and when you look at what Rob Edwards has done, you really didn't know what to expect from them. I mean, they lose Grant Strong. They lose a couple, 3 talented players from a year ago, but the beat keeps rolling for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it is, and I know that the next time Gordonsville and Clay County, I know Gordonsville would like to get some revenge,
right?
Dropping that home game. Can they force a tie when it comes down to it? Don't count out Pickett County. They could possibly make a run, but it looks like it's going to come down between Gordonsville and Clay.
Of course, Pickett County boys, they're all guards. They don't have any height, and that's where Gordonsville really hurt. When they won in the game at Byrdstown, they kicked it down low to their big man, and when they do that, he winds up with 28 points. he's probably 6'5", 6 maybe, very long arms, and they just didn't have anybody to match. And when you look at Gordonsville, they got a couple of good posts in there in Brody Sykes, and they're kind of want to kick the ball inside, and I think that's one thing that Greg Bibb and Butch Agee has kind of stressed to their team. Hey, let's get it in there to these guys, and let them get an opportunity to finish. But if they get double teamed, hey, they've got some shooters that they can kick it back out.
Yeah, they could get a lot of mismatch inside, and Pickett County 12-9. Maybe wondering, can they make a run? But it looks like they could be traveling in the first round. And Clark Range and Red Boiling Springs, right there at the bottom. Who's going to come out of that in the playing game? It looks like those two. It's going to come down to those two. But can Red Boiling Springs pull a shocker? You
look at Will Dudney, another post for them for Gordonsville, and then when Clymer can hit the three, they've got the Wood kid off the bench can hit the three, Holloman can hit the three, the Grissom kid can hit the three. So they've got four pretty good shooters. Three definitely that can fill it up at any time. Wood was the big difference in the game at Gordonsville when the Owls played over there in the little cross-county rival. But it remains to be seen just how far these teams can go, because sitting on the other side over there is your defending Class A state champion East Robertson, and that's going to be a tough roadblock because they're a very, very, very athletic team. I saw them earlier this year, and the Indians from Cross Plains. I don't know that they can win it again, but they're very talented, very athletic.
They are, and I think they were in Sparta, back in December and played. They showed. They show that they're going to be really, really tough down the road. Don't know much about Knowledge Academy, who's over in that that district. But if Pickett can't make the move, then Pickett could be seeing them.
Right, and you look at Gordonsville. If they finish number 2, then they would have to play East Robertson, who in all likelihood would finish number 1 in that region semis. I think it would be a whole lot better, and this is easier said than done, if they could finish first, knock off Clay, even if they lost to them at Clay, knock them off in the district tournament, which is at Jackson County. And we're going to be covering some of those games here on DTC TV. But when you look at that, I think Gordonsville needs to pull an upset if they're going to make it sub-state play. I just don't know that Gordonsville or any team from the district that we cover, which is 7A, can roadblock District 8A's kind of champion and the defending state champion. You're that for a reason.
Exactly, and you're right. That's what Gordonsville's going to have to do. And these guys have been playing since they were young. And so that experience is paying off for Gordonsville. Can they win the district? Draw maybe a Joe Burns or a Trousdale in the first round before you have to play East Robertson. Because if you're going to play East Robertson, you want to get them in the region championship. That way, if you lose, you go on the road, you play another day.
Of course, the girls, I think it's a District 7A dominated side of the region. I don't think there's a team from 8A that will threaten maybe the champion from over there playing the 4th team from over here in District 7A, but that should be about it. We'll have a look at the District 6AA and 7 AAA scores when we return, as we remind you, watching the box score brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
From payroll and bookkeeping to expert tax preparation and advice, H&R Block is ready to work for you. For the year-round services you need and the one-on-one attention you deserve, partner with H&R Block Business Services. You focus on your business. We'll handle the books. Call today to make an appointment with our Carthage, Smithville, or Woodbury office. H&R Block Business Services, helping your business prosper with a unique combination of services, expertise, and convenient locations.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old barred trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for master, certified, and experienced heavy-duty maintenance techs, maintenance supervisor, entry-level and experienced miners and exploration infill drillers, grade operator, electricians, laboratory and metallurgical technician, senior metallurgist, and more. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and lots more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
Preston Brothers Construction knows what it takes to get your next building project completed the right way and the way that you want it done. As a licensed, bonded, and insured general contractor serving Woodbury and surrounding counties, you can trust Preston Brothers to put their many years of experience to work for you. For help with the design, construction, or management of your next residential or commercial building project, there's only one team to call: Preston Brothers Construction, 615-563-2885.
Life moves fast, and that means all of your technology should too. DTC is proud to be your local technology partner, helping you connect what matters most, no matter where you are or what you do.
Realize your inner superhero with faster internet from DTC. Get a $50 bill credit when you sign up or upgrade your internet. We're talking unlimited plans with speeds up to 1 gig.
DTC Communications, connecting what matters most.
Welcome back to the Box Score. Jeff Barnes along with Terry Collins, Justin Malden always doing a great job for us behind the scenes. And Jeff, when you look, we're fixing to look at the 6AA and 7 AAA Sonica Carthage scoreboards. Some of these scores surprising, but still, I think when you look at these, and most of these are district games, you have a few non-district games. I think the gold is being sifted out, and we're seeing who the better teams in these districts are.
You know, you and I talked Saturday night, and I'm just surprised at how many lopsided scores that I'm seeing, even up to now. Now I know that's probably going to change come tournament time, but this season has just been unbelievable.
Right, it has. It's been fun to watch, and we've got a lot of fun things left in February because we've got the district tournaments, region tournaments, sub-states, and state tournaments coming up. Let's go ahead and look at the Sonica Carthage District 6AA girls scoreboard. Smith County breaks a 6-game losing skid at home at Bill Landers Gym in Carthage last Friday night with a 43-30 win over Watertown. They're still without the services of their sophomore center, Chloe Collins, but they still get the win. Very solid effort on the defensive end by Matt Farrell's team.
Yeah, exactly, and I know that this was a much needed win, and also a big district win that kind of keeps them maybe in the running, but at least a good solid third.
You know, I don't know that they can finish above third. We'll just have to wait and see. Of course, they've got 3 district games left. They've got Westmoreland be at home. They've got to go to Cannon this Friday, and then they got to go to Watertown. So we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have Coach Ashley Patrick and Aniston Holt on a little bit better later, but a big win for Cannon County at home over Westmoreland, 32-31.
And I know that when we talk to Coach Patrick, I know that she is going to be absolutely beaming about getting that win. That's a good quality win. And when you told me Saturday night, and I hadn't had a chance to check out the AA scores,
right.
Yeah, but when you told me Cannon beat Westmoreland, right. I guess the look on my face was priceless. But hey, a great win for Coach Patrick.
Let's look at some more scores from District 6AA. Of course, Smith County played Livingston at home. They were down 20 after the third quarter, went into a press, kind of bothered Livingston. Of course, Livingston plays a lot of people. They always have. They probably played 10 to 12 players and they get the win 50-38. They're the number 2 team in Class 3A, lead that district by 2 games. Moore County gets the win over Cannon County on Monday night. Then Community gets the win on Tuesday night. So Cannon County follows up a big win with 2 not so impressive performances. And I know Coach Patrick is concerned about that. Watertown, Coach Jeff Keller gets the win 44-35 over Cascade. Looking at the girls district standings, Cannon County sitting on top by virtue of that win over Westmoreland at 3-0, Westmoreland 2-1, Smith County 1-2, Watertown 0-3. This thing is not over yet, though. I mean, it's still a lot of things left could happen.
Yeah, that's probably right there. That's what we're going to see. But Westmoreland, Cannon County, the finale at Westmoreland,
right,
for the district title. That's going to be an unbelievable game right there.
Let's go and look at the Seneca Carthage District 6AA boys scoreboard. Smith County gets the win 49-33 over Watertown. Cannon boys in double overtime 54-53. Some nuggets about that. Cannon County had a 16 or 18 point lead. Westmoreland puts in a kid off the bench who goes 6 for 6 from 3-point range, winds up getting the game into overtime. Then it goes into a double overtime, and Coach Jared Nabe's team gets a huge win over Westmoreland by 1.
I know they have to feel like they barely scraped by, but how kind of frustrating is it as a kid that comes off the bench, hasn't played all game, and he just comes in and just gets on a hot streak.
You know, there's players that coaches keep every year, maybe slow, maybe can't move fast, but can shoot the basketball in there. When the team goes on, hey, they're in the game.
Exactly. But a good quality win for Cannon County over Westmoreland there. That's an awesome win for them.
And puts the district race, as we'll see here in a minute, in a quandary 3-way tie for first place. Let's go ahead and look at some more scores. On Monday night, Smith County plays the number 3 ranked team in the state in Class 3A. Livingston boys close, but they wound up losing at 77-69. Very entertaining game. Moore County gets the win over Cannon by 1. And then on Tuesday night, Watertown beats Cascade, and then Cannon County beats Community. You know, Watertown scored 71 points. I think that's the one thing that Coach Kevin Honeycutt, if he can get his team to score, because they have the effort on the defensive end, they can give somebody trouble in this second half of the race.
I think back in December we was talking about, they had trouble scoring. They were in the 40s and 50s.
Right.
But I know he was glad to see that, and if they can keep that consistently into next month, Watertown could be a tough team to beat, or a team you don't want to face in the postseason.
Let's go ahead and look at the standings. Westmoreland, Smith, and Cannon. Of course, Smith beat Cannon real badly. In fact, that was a running clock in the 4th quarter at Carthage. That's their only loss. Smith County's only loss was at Westmoreland. And then Westmoreland's only loss was at Cannon. You got Watertown there at 0-3, but I don't think anybody's going to sleep on Watertown out of these other 3, Jeff. They're just too dangerous.
No, you can't. We talk about every district game being important, and look at that, a 3-way tie for first. All three of those teams right there, pretty much even. You got to maybe give the edge to Westmoreland, but who knows? Who knows as we enter the second half?
Let's go ahead and look at the District 7AA girls scoreboard. Sonic Carthage bring you that. Livingston gets the big win over Pickett County at home. And then DeKalb, a big win for their girls, playing Stone Memorial and beating them by 4. Upland, a close affair against White County. They win it by 3. I think that game was at Baxter, if I remember right. Cumberland County gets the big win over Macon County. And then Livingston on Saturday night goes to a very solid Creekwood team and gets the victory.
Yeah, congratulations to Livingston getting that win. That DeKalb Stone Memorial game, Terry, Stone had a 5-point lead at the half, but give DeKalb a lot of credit. They came from behind. They got the win and set themselves up big for Tuesday night.
Let's go ahead and look at some more scores from Livingston beat Smith County at Carthage 50-38. Of course, Livingston then went on the road. After going to Carthage, they go back to Overton County, then back to Macon County and Lafayette on Tuesday night, get the big win, 53-29. Cumberland County, a big win over Stone Memorial. That's always been a big battle. Those schools only, 2 or 3, 4 miles apart there in Crossville. And ever since Stone has opened, they've kindly at times had the upper hand in that rivalry. But Cumberland County now coming back, and Rodica Miller kind of put Cumberland County girls on the map there for a while with their success. Made a run to the state tournament, and then White County girls, Coach Dodgen gets the win over DeKalb, 72-51.
And Cumberland was just barely leading Stone at the half on that one. In the White County DeKalb game, it took the fourth quarter for White County to pull away. Ella Van Vranken did all she could to keep them in the game. She had 26 points.
Looking at the standings for 7 AAA, you look at something we thought really wouldn't happen, and that's a 2-game lead there for Livingston girls sitting there at 7-0. Cumberland County 6-2, Upperman 4-2, White County 5-3. Still think the cream of the crop is in those 4 teams. When you look at Livingston ranked 2nd, Upperman 3rd, Cumberland County 7th, White County 9th, just shows you the strength of the upper tier of 7 AAA.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be those 4 teams. They're going to be shuffling between now and the end of the season. You feel bad for DeKalb. They had a chance to make a move last night. Played White County tough, just could not get over the hump in the fourth quarter, and White County with some defense was able to pull away. The next 3 weeks is going to be interesting. Can anybody topple Livingston from the top?
Livingston's already went on the road and won at Upman, a tough place to win, for sure. And of course, when you look at these, I don't know that Livingston go unscathed through this, but Coach Leslie Riddle has a lot of talent. They've got a lot of depth, Jeff, and I think that depth kind of wears on teams because, they've got 8 or 9 players that they can put in the game, and they don't lose a whole lot of pop when they do.
No, they don't, and that plays into the fourth quarter because some teams that are getting tired, and Coach Riddle she'll shuffle them in and out, and she does that consistently all game long. They're like you said, they're 9 or 10 deep.
They hit their first 5 shots, in fact, in the game at Smith County, and 3 of those were threes to get the early lead over the Lady Owls in their win on Monday night. Let's go ahead and look at the Sonica Carthage scores from District 7 AA boys, or 7 AAA boys. Livingston gets the win at home over Pickett, 71-63. Then on Friday night, a close game, but Stone Memorial sneaks out a 57-53 win over DeKalb. We think Stone is probably the best team, not only in this district, but, can make a big run in the state tournament. But DeKalb's a very talented team, and, that could be a 1-4 matchup down the road. Who knows?
Yeah, and DeKalb, I still think, is a team that you don't want to play whenever it comes postseason. I thought DeKalb might have pulled off an upset at home against Stone Memorial, but, Stone, they held on, and they get a big win out of Smithville.
Upperman beats White County 42-38. Then Cumberland County beats Macon County 56-43. I think that game was in Crossville. Then Creekwood on Saturday night gives Livingston, who started out 17-0, their second loss in their previous 3 games, 56-53 on the road at Creekwood.
And that Upperman White County game, I was telling you, Terry, White County had a 30-18 lead, only to see Upperman go on a 24-6 run for the rest of the game.
Let's go ahead and look at some more scores. Upperman gets the win over Franklin Classical boys. Livingston on Monday night. It's a highly entertaining game. It was 23-17. After the first quarter, Livingston had made their first 6 shots, including 4 threes in that game. Looked like Livingston was playing at home the way they were stroking it to start. But Smith County could get back within maybe 4 or 5 points, but never could get over the hill. But a solid Livingston team that we've seen all year. You don't get to be ranked 3rd in the state by being a bad team. And, they're quick, they shoot the ball well. Their basketball IQ, Jeff, is what I'm so impressed with.
Yeah, they're a great team. Can they be beatable? In the second half, we'll find out if anybody can make a move on them and Stone.
Stone gets the big win over Cumberland County, Livingston over Macon at Lafayette, and then White County gets a huge win over DeKalb. that spread a lot wider than I thought it would be.
I thought it was going to be a little bit closer. In Smithville, DeKalb had a 17-point lead, only to see White County come from behind. Close game in the first quarter. The second quarter was the difference, Terry. 31-12 run for White County to really pull away, and DeKalb never really challenged.
Let's go ahead and look at the standings. Stone Memorial sitting on top at 8-0, Livingston at 6-1, Upperman at 5-2, and then you got White County, and then you got DeKalb coming in and making. I really think those top 4 teams, just like the girls, are how it's going to shake out once the season is over.
I think so too. And Terry, one thing about it, Upperman can be beaten, can Livingston be beaten? There's still a chance for somebody to make a move.
We'll have an interview with Ashley, Patrick, and Aniston Holt when we return. As we remind you, you're watching The Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old borrowed trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for master, certified, and experienced heavy-duty maintenance techs, maintenance supervisor, entry-level and experienced miners and exploration infill drillers, grade operator, electricians, laboratory and metallurgical technician, senior metallurgist, and more. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and lots more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
Preston Brothers Construction knows what it takes to get your next building project completed the right way and the way that you want it done. As a licensed, bonded, and insured general contractor serving Woodbury and surrounding counties, you can trust Preston Brothers to put their many years of experience to work for you. For help with the design, construction, or management of your next residential or commercial building project, there's only one team to call: Preston Brothers Construction, 615-563-2885.
From payroll and bookkeeping to expert tax preparation and advice, H&R Block is ready to work for you. For the year-round services you need and the one-on-one attention you deserve, partner with H&R Block Business Services. You focus on your business, we'll handle the books. Call today to make an appointment with our Carthage, Smithville, or Woodbury office. H&R Block Business Services, helping your business prosper with a unique combination of services, expertise, and convenient locations.
Here's normal internet speed. Here's the gig difference. Average speed, gig. Not enough speed, gig speed. With gig internet from DTC, everything's different. Video streaming is a breeze. Music and photos fly. And gaming gets real with no data limits. That's the gig difference. Call or visit DTC online and get your gig today.
And welcome back to The Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway, Jeff Barnes and Terry Collins. And we've been joined by the Cannon County girls head coach, Coach Ashley, Patrick, and Coach. Big 1-point win over Westmoreland last Friday night in Woodbury. I know you had to be proud of your team and proud of their defensive effort.
Yeah, I was really proud of them. And the defense was good. Of course, the defense from Westmoreland's going to be great as always. But the fact that we missed quite a few little jumpers right in the paint and we didn't shoot well that night either. So that gave me a lot of hope for, the next matchup that we didn't do everything perfect, but we still fought and got that win.
Coach, how does it sound to say Cannon County Lionettes leading the district?
It sounds unusual because it's been a while. But, obviously it's a good feeling for right now, but there's nobody to overlook. Any night we come out, I feel like any of the other three teams could go either way. So it's obviously we're sitting in the driver's seat right now, and it's where we want to be, but it's not over. It's halfway there, so it's not even close to over. So we've just got to keep focusing on what we need to do.
Coach, you squeak out a 32-31 win over Westmoreland. Westmoreland's a team that likes to play a lot of defense, keeps the game under. Did that kind of work for you? Because I know you kind of like to keep scores in the 50s, but it seemed obviously it worked in your favor in the end. But is this something that you kind of was like, okay, we'll play your game?
Well, we kind of ended up towards the end of the game, we saw a mismatch. They have one pretty solid post player, but we have three pretty bigs that we decided to go big in the end of that game because whoever their post wasn't guarding, we could post the other up, and it was just really hard for them to guard us inside. So we kind of have that luxury this year where we can go small or we can go big based upon a matchup. And I think that when we decided to do that, that's what helped us to push to get that win.
Coach, when you look at Lawson and Pelham and Bush, three players that are around 6 foot or over 6 foot, and I've noticed in several of your games, I know in the Smith County game and in the Watertown game at home, the Smith County game at Carthage, that you were able to rotate these girls in and out, which was a big plus for you, and you didn't seem like you lost a step.
Yeah, and that's exactly how we feel. Other people might say, oh, hey, Pelham's got 2 fouls, 3 fouls, but really I feel there's no stress on me when she picks up a few fouls because when I sub, I feel like it's going to be just as good, and Allie Lawson will bring in a spark. So, I always want Pelham in the game if she can be in the game, but it's nice to know that if she picks up a few cheap ones, that it's not going to be a huge game changer for us.
Coach, when you play Westmoreland, they're a grinded out team. They're solid defensively. Sounds like you were as well. They make you earn every bucket. And I think with Coach Perry and what he has taught defensively, there's not a lot of holes for you to exploit in their defense. Of course, you found the thing there with your bigs coming in. I know that had to help. But they, just because they don't have as many bigs as you do, they do have very solid guard play.
Oh, yeah, they absolutely do. And we knew that coming in, that if we could limit our turnovers and limit their second chances, that we would have a shot to win the game. But I will say our guard play is pretty strong this year. I've got a pretty strong sub that I can put in with Abulin Teeter, and I've got 3 solid ones on the floor starting the game. So I know their guard defense is tight, but I also felt like we weren't going to turn the ball over a ton because my guard play on the offensive end is pretty structured as well.
Coach, when you look, I know you've got a solid 3 players on your perimeter that can knock down the 3. We've seen Aniston, especially in the game at DeKalb, light it up from 3-point range in the first half. She has done that at times. But when you look at your 3 perimeter players, yes, they're good offensive players, but I think what makes your team even better is they're so solid on the defensive end. And when you look at Teeter coming off the bench, Coach, she's not very big, but she's very feisty and seems to have a nose for the ball and knows where it's at all the time, whether it be rebounding, getting deflections, getting steals, whatever that may be, which makes all 4 of those a strong unit.
Yeah, I can't even tell you how much I love to watch Abulin play. I never have to worry about, is Abulin going to show up? And she might be a little bit off on the offensive end of the floor, but I think of a couple games ago, she turned the ball over and she ran back down the floor, and I said, get the ball back. And the first pass they made, guess who stole it straight out of the air? Abulin. So she's feisty. She's always ready to go, and she's definitely a spark off the bench. And that's a good thing because I'm like, whichever one of y'all 3 isn't going to show up tonight, I've got somebody over here waiting for their chance. And that's always a good feeling.
Coach, back on the 32-31 victory over Westmoreland, looked like maybe at times that you might have left some points out on the court. The shots and the paints, I know that puts a lot of gray hairs on coaches. Was that a key factor in the second half?
Yeah, we missed about 3 or 4 right under the rim, trying to close the game right there, and that definitely would have closed the game if we could have put those in. But, you know, when you look at our team, this is a team 2 years ago, they won 5 basketball games in the whole season. So last year was a learning curve of just making every game competitive. You know, I knew last year we weren't going to close out every game or come out on top every game, but we needed to get ourselves in the position to where it could go either way. And this year, I feel like we're over that hump, and it's time to start closing out the games when we need to, and we should be able to put those in the basket. And that night we didn't drop them in when we needed to, but we turned the ball over right at the end and gave them an opportunity. But I saw right there on that possession that my kids wanted to win the game more than their kids wanted to win the game, because they went out there and defended. And we hadn't really played too much man-to-man all night, and I didn't really have a call at that. You know, there were a few seconds left, and they manned up and they just played good defense, and that's how you finish games.
Coach, when you look at Westmoreland, they're not hardly like the team they were a year ago. Yes, you know, they shot the three-pointer, but it seems like this year they're shooting the three-pointer better, especially with Cassidy. For them, I know against Smith County, she made 6 or 7 threes in the game against the Lady Owls, which was at Westmoreland. They took 38 shots in the game, and 30 of them was three-pointers. That makes their philosophy, I guess offensive philosophy, a little bit different than it was a year ago.
Yeah, I noticed that they took a lot of three-pointers as well, but I'm not sure what defense Smith ran against them. But sometimes when you're sitting in the zone, it allows a lot of three-pointers to be shot. And if your team can sit out there and knock down three-pointers and you're sitting in the zone, you know, you just kind of feel what the other team's doing. If the other team comes out and they knock down 3 or 4 threes right off the bat, you know, as a coach, sometimes you got to change your defense right there. And we applied ball pressure. We didn't allow them to take a ton of just open shots. And so I think that's what kind of caused the rattling in their shooting when they played here. And I told my kids they might not shoot like that every night that we play them, but you know, I wanted a hand up, and we wanted to let them shoot the three and take away the drive first, because I know that they're really good drivers.
Well, Coach, let's turn our attention now to your senior guard, Aniston Holt. And Aniston, I know it had to feel, you know, you've been there for the tough times, but to now sit on top of the district, what a great feeling I know that is. I know you're only halfway done, but that's got to feel good for the Lionettes.
Yeah, it does feel good. We've came a long way from not winning a district game at all to being number 1 for now, but we still have a long way to go. Just trying to play more consistent and show up every night. That way we know going into the tournament that our best basketball is ahead of us.
Well, you know, when you look at the people you've got surrounding you on the perimeter, you know, you've got some pretty feisty defenders, and I notice game in, game out, y'all put a lot of pressure on opposing guards and opposing threes, you know, small forwards, with your defensive pressure. And I know y'all buy into the defensive end first, and I know that's something that Coach Patrick preaches.
Yeah, this year we've been trying to really focus on our defense, and especially our young guards. They bring a lot of energy on defense, and it helps me to hustle harder because people around me are trying so hard, and it helps to close out the games. We're just trying to bring some extra energy.
Aniston, in the game at DeKalb, I can't remember if it was 4 or 5 three-pointers you had. You had 18 or 20 points in the first half. Did the rim look as big as a number 2 wash tub? I mean, I know that's old school, but it had to look as big as a hula hoop to you, because you were knocking them down. A lot of those were from deep.
Yeah, you kind of just get in that rhythm sometimes, and you have a good night. I've had some other nights where it felt like it was really small and it couldn't hit anything, but that night I was happy to have a good night against DeKalb.
I know you've got some big girls inside. When you look at Lawson and you look at Pelham and you look at Bush, 3 players that can score around the basket. Of course, when you look, Bush can also step out and shoot the 3. On a night in, night out basis, it has to feel good for you if you get beat defensively that you got a 6'1" or 6'2" person that can help out, block some shots, wall somebody up in order to stop a drive.
It does feel good. Being like 6 foot, they take up a lot of space, so I know that they can always be there to have my back and help me. And a lot of times we play teams who might not have as strong of post play as we do, so we'll even tell Bella to help off or Allie to help off in the paint if they have good guard play.
I've noticed in games that with y'all, you kind of take more chances when you've got other teams' bigs, their 4s and their 5s, do not shoot maybe a good perimeter or mid-range game. And that kind of gives you, a little freedom, I guess you could say. Not that you ever want to get beat, but you can get up there and go belly to belly, get some deflection, get some steals, knowing that, hey, we've got help behind us.
Yeah, it's a good feeling just knowing they're back there. You can be a little bit more risky. We try to play discipline, but sometimes when it's the end of the game or you think you can get a steal, you just got to go for it.
Aniston, in the second half of the season, you've got 2 of your 3 on the road at Westmoreland, which is going to be a crazy game, and you're at Watertown. You got Smith County at home. How tough is it to go on the road for y'all? How does that sound? How do y'all approach that?
Well, these district games, they're going to have a good crowd and a good student section, so we try to keep our composure with that. But traditionally this year, we've played good on the road. We're going to try to keep that going. We're just now getting in our rhythm at home where we can go up and compete at home. We usually have a little bit of a letdown. But I know we just got to walk in before and be ready to play when we get there. Some of those are long trips, so we got to be ready to play when we get there. But I'm excited for it.
Aniston, one last question for you. When you played Watertown at home, you were down 4 after the first quarter, and then you outscored them 30 over the final 3 quarters. What did Coach Patrick say to y'all to ignite such a fire for y'all to play so well in those final 3 quarters?
I honestly don't remember. It was probably more of a yell than a say, but we knew that if we could just play our game, we could get ahead. That's kind of how a lot of our games are. We have a pretty tough schedule, and we feel that if we show up to play our best basketball every night, we could get a lot of wins, but if we don't show up, we could lose. And we knew we couldn't overlook Watertown because that was a must-win game. So we just wanted to come back out and do better than we were doing.
Aniston, it has to make you feel good that you've been chosen for the East All-Star team for BCAT. I mean, that's a big honor, and I know that one you've got to be awful proud of.
Yeah, it is a big honor, and I'm really thankful to have been chosen for it. I'm excited to still have some basketball left after the season. I think it'll be a lot of fun because that'll be a few weeks after the season ends, I think. So it'll be fun to get back out there and see some of the good competition around me because I know there's some really big names on the list and prospects and stuff.
Is there college opportunity down the road possibly for you, Aniston?
I've talked to some schools, so there is. I'm not sure yet, and I just don't know yet. But I talked to some schools the other day at one of our games.
Well, Aniston, Holt, Coach Ashley Patrick, we appreciate you joining us here on DTC TV and the Box Score, and best of luck in the second half of the District 6AA regular season race.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, and we'll have more of the Box Score brought to you by our Carthage Safeway when we return on DTC 3.
Do you ever worry about the safety of your home when you leave? Or at night while you're sleeping? Then give your home a professional security makeover with help from DTC Security.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation. Don't put off this important decision.
Contact us and start your home's DTC Security Makeover today.
Preston Brothers Construction knows what it takes to get your next building project completed the right way and the way that you want it done. As a licensed, bonded, and insured general contractor serving Woodbury and surrounding counties, you can trust Preston Brothers to put their many years of experience to work for you. For help with the design, construction, or management of your next residential or commercial building project, there's only one team to call: Preston Brothers Construction, 615-563-2885.
From payroll and bookkeeping to expert tax preparation and advice, H&R Block is ready to work for you. For the year-round services you need and the one-on-one attention you deserve, partner with H&R Block Business Services. You focus on your business, we'll handle the books. Call today to make an appointment with our Carthage, Smithville, or Woodbury office. H&R Block Business Services, helping your business prosper with a unique combination of services, expertise, and convenient locations.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old barred trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for master, certified, and experienced heavy-duty maintenance techs, maintenance supervisor, entry-level and experienced miners and exploration infill drillers, grade operator, electricians, laboratory and metallurgical technician, senior metallurgist, and more. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and lots more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
And welcome back to the final segment of the Box Score. Terry Collins along with Jeff Barnes. And Jeff, as we look at these upcoming games, some are very, very pivotal as far as the seeding for the upcoming district tournaments.
Yeah, a lot of districts are going to see a lot of shuffling, especially in 6AA that we're going to be talking about, and over in 7 AAA, there's going to be a couple of interesting games coming up between now and next week.
We'll start out with District 7A. Looking at those upcoming games, that could be a preview of things to come. And when I say that, Van Buren, they go. When I say the other way, they go. Gordonsville's region opponent is East Robertson, and the private schools are in the Nashville area, Hendersonville, that area. But still, that could be a team that you could see in sub-state play, is Van Buren County, a team that is solid, both the girls and the boys, for the Eagles and Lady Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles look very tough. I think they got a big win over Whitwell. Mm-hmm. And so they are, they're primed, and, and there's just sometimes, they come tournament time, they seem to find the way to win, and they find the will to win, and they peak at a great time.
Clark Range at Red Bowling. Of course, Red Bowling only one win for the season. They're anxious to play a team that, hopefully they can win. I mean, they have been in so many close games this year that they've dropped. They're sitting there about 1-18 for the year. But you better not sleep on the Bulldogs. They have got some talented players in Copus and Hackney and some others there that it could give you problems for the rest of the regular season, definitely in postseason.
Oh yeah, that's in that game right there. Those two teams not only going to see each other on the 27th, but this is more than likely going to be a play-in game between those two. Red Boiling Springs, I know that they would love to get some confidence between now and next month.
That's probably going to be that 4 or 5 matchup on the boys' side of the ledger. And then the girls, you're looking at that 2, 3, and 4 spot that's up for grabs. That Red Bowling would love to snatch and gain some momentum.
I think that they would love Yeah, like you said, get a quality win over a good Clark Range team. Can they knock them down to where possibly, Clark Range may be sweating it and they could be going on the road?
Clark Range, or Cumberland County at Pickett County, that'll be a good matchup from 7 AAA going to 7A, and then Tennessee Heat going to Salina to play Clay County, where they play awfully tough.
Would you like a little insight from last night for Tuesday night?
What's that?
Tennessee Heat goes to Upperman. And wins.
Wow.
42-36.
Wow.
So it makes me kind of wonder, is Upperman on a slide?
Right. We'll just have to see. Let's go ahead and look at some more upcoming games. That Gordonsville at Jackson County. They moved that to Monday night. Red Bowling Springs at Pickett on Tuesday night, and Clay County at Clark Range on Tuesday night as well. Some awfully big ball games there, especially on the girls' side.
Yeah, there's a chance for the on the girls, Clay County and Clark Range. That's going to probably be maybe a top 2 for the end of the season. Who's going to be strong going into that tournament? I think Clark Range. They're tough at home. They could possibly get a win and make things interesting.
6AA upcoming games from Friday night. Of course, they're Huff and Puff Trucking Game of the Week on DTC Sports. The Owls and Lady Owls go to Cannon County. Cannon County girls got the win at Carthage. Then Smith County boys played one of their best games of the year. Shot about 65% from the floor and beaten Cannon by around 40. But I think Cannon is this is a battle for number one or being in the number 1 spot in the district on the boys' side, because Cannon and Smith and Westmoreland all sitting there at 2-1.
Yeah, they're all tied for first, and it's a situation where you want to get the win. Can Smith County go all the way, win the district? Who's the team that you gotta kind of stay away from? Knox Fulton, and that's a team that you want to stay away from at least until the region championship.
Westmoreland at Watertown. Then you've got another game on DTC Sports on Monday night. Smith going up to Smithville and playing DeKalb. Smith girls got a huge win at home over DeKalb. DeKalb boys won in Carthage in the matchup of the first time. Then Westmoreland, a big rival game at Macon, but Macon really has struggled to score. Both girls and boys as of late. Yeah, and I think Westmoreland, chance for them to kind of bounce back. Taking on a Macon County team. Macon County, they'll make it tough in the first half. They've had a little problem putting 4 quarters together. Let's go ahead and look at some more upcoming games out of District 7 AAA. Macon County on Friday night travels to Baxter to play against Upperman. Livingston, an old 8AA battle, coming back to DeKalb County. And when you look at that, I know Livingston's got 2 teams that are ranked top 3 of the state. But the boys especially, you better watch that game, because DeKalb has the firepower, I think, under first-year head coach Joey Agee, to get a huge home win. We saw how the boys did against Stone Memorial. It was a 4-point loss. DeKalb is still tough at home. I think that they could have a chance to pull an upset there for the DeKalb girls. This is a chance for them to kind of make a move if they can. They've got 4 games in the region at home. Can they? Can Coach Alley's team make a run? Stone Memorial at White County, and then Cumberland County going on the road and playing at Pickett in Byrdstown. That could be a good boys game right there, Stone and White. White's always played Stone tough at home. Can anybody do anything with Cade Caps? We'll find out. That's for sure. Definitely an outstanding player. As a sophomore, already scored 1,000 points. Very talented player. Need to go out and see him if you're a high school basketball fan, for sure. Let's go ahead and look at some more games coming up. Westmoreland going to Macon County. Smith at DeKalb. As we said, on our Huff and Puff Trucking Game of the Week on DTC Sports. Warren County, White County. Of course, that's not the same districts as it has been in the past, but still a very formidable foe. That's Lady Pioneers and Pioneers. They're having some great years. The Lady Pioneers came up short against Coffee County. Pioneers beat Coffee in overtime, and they're in first place
in the district. So they're gonna be ready, and I know that they feel that they let one get away in Sparta last time they played. So a good non-district battle, which is an old District 7 AAA matchup. If you have to go, going back before 2008.
DeKalb County at Macon County, Upperman at Stone, and then Cumberland County at Livingston. And when you look, this is the meat and potatoes of the district schedule that we're looking at now. And, each game, a loss could mean a couple of seeds, or a win could bump you up a couple of seeds.
Exactly. And DeKalb going to Macon, they can solidify themselves, no lower than a fifth. Still has a chance to possibly get into that top four if they can string some wins together. They've got some games at home coming up. Cumberland County and Livingston, that's going to be a heck of a girls game. Hey, it's going to be a good boys game too, even though Cumberland County right now is in the number 5 spot in the district. This could be a chance for Cumberland County to pull an upset, and Upperman and Stone on that boys side. That's going to be another good contest. But Stone has just been solid all season. I'm not sure if anybody is going to be able to knock them off.
Just have to wait and see. Of course, DeKalb gave them a run for their money in Smithville, just lost by 4. Let's go ahead and look at our featured game, Smith County at Canning County. That'll be on Friday night, but the replay dates are going to be Tuesday, January 31st, February the 1st, on Wednesday, and Friday, February 3rd, all at 7 p.m., and on Thursday, February 2nd at 1 p.m. And then we've got another game that we're going to bring to you, and that's going to be on Monday night when Smith County travels to Smithville to play DeKalb County, an old District 8 AA game. Of course, now DeKalb County, once we went to the 4 classifications, they're AAA. Smith County is AA, and the replay dates on that are going to be on Thursday, February 2nd, Saturday, February 4th, and Sunday, February 5th at 7 p.m., and then on Friday, February 3rd at 1 p.m. Now, we've got something we don't get an opportunity to do that much, but we're excited about doing the Smith County Elementary Tournament. I'll be doing those first 2 consolation games by myself, and then Josh Agee is going to join me for the 2 championship games this year's tournament at Smith County High School, neutral court, which I'm glad to see. Defeated in Smith County Middle will be playing after we tape this show. That'll be the number 1 seed, Defeated boys, who got a narrow win over Forks River in the James C. Hale 41-39. In fact, Forks River had a shot for a 3-pointer in the final 2 or 3 seconds, couldn't connect, and Defeated pulls out the narrow win. They'll be playing in the championship game earlier that day against Pickett County, a team that they beat twice. Then they turn around less than 6 hours later, and they'll be playing again. In all likelihood, if they beat Smith County Middle, it'll be against Forks River again. The consolation game will be Gordonsville, you would think, against Smith County Middle. Of course, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But Jeff, you saw some of these teams. That should be some good basketball.
Oh, it's going to be some great ones. And looking on this boys' side, seeing how strong Forks River is, and Forks River and Defeated's come a long way. It's going to be a heck of a game. Can this Forks River, can they pull off the championship?
Forks River, the number 2 seed, Defeated, number 1 seed. Let's go ahead and look at the girls' bracket. Defeated will play Forks River. That's the number 1 versus number 4 seed in the semifinal game on Thursday night. Championship games at 7. Defeated, heavy favorite in that game, and they'll play against Gordonsville, who beat Smith County Middle. Smith County Middle being in the consolation game around 5 and then 7 o'clock. In all likelihood, it'll be Gordonsville and Defeated for the county championship. For Justin Malden and Jeff Barnes, I'm Terry Collins. Good night from the box score.